guy destroyed a 500 billion Ponzi scheme, man. Let's go ahead and check this out, man. I say billion?
I'm sorry. The finale of this video got a little messy, and it's gonna be up to you to
How did it become a whole hour
together. Things might be a bit out of.
Hey, hold up! I'm stupid though. Hold up, Coffee. Listen, I thought you was the man. I thought you was putting it together, Coffee.
Man behind Trader's Domain.
It took me weeks to go through all the documents, but eventually, a pattern started to emerge.
I was in my room one day and I overheard a conversation and I thought I caught something about B-booking, switching people from A-book to B-book.
Oh,
and
God.
so I asked Dave about it and he blatantly said to me, he's like, yeah,
that's what we doing,
if losing, we might as well B-book them because we're just leaving money on the table.
We traced even more money that had come in. According to them, roughly 450 million went into Trader's Domain.
Bro, and that's
I don't think he's ever dealt with someone my size before. And nobody knows anything about his family because they don't have the resources I have.
Why do you care about his family? We talking about what you doing, not what other people's family. This boy a weirdo. That's why I hate people like that. They be thinking they Batman or some shit. Like, bro, you scamming, not Coffeezilla. He ain't got nothing to worry about. And if anything, we gonna put them hammers on your dumb ass for threatening his family. We gonna blame you,
I knew
boy.
immediately it was Ted. I could tell his voice. I raced to the office, but you could tell by what I was wearing, I wasn't expecting the conversation.
Hey, Steven, how you doing?
Hey, Ted, thanks for taking the time, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. I'll keep it quick with you. No problem.
Bro was out here having a coffee with the family.
But you've been on this case for months.
Oh, I was prepared for it. I just wasn't expecting it. I mean, he seemed really hostile at first and like he was just trying to get me off the phone real quick.
So obviously, mission one.
Right. Keep the guy talking.
I guess since you don't have a lot of time, let me just start firing off some questions for you, and you'll forgive me if you know they're hard questions, but I think, you know, given the time constraint, let's make sure we get to the good stuff, you know.
I mean, I'll clarify items up until 2020, because after 2020, I was no longer the owner of the platform, so I don't know what happened with the platform. And
so when all the bad stuff happened,
before we continue. Obviously, I've spoken to my counsel. We know about your YouTube channel now. We reviewed it. I mean, there's really nothing of substance on there, to be honest. I think it's more of a glorified, just clickbait channel. I see what you've done. You've taken a lot of the local hot topics for the time and tried to monetize it. So, I mean, I appreciate your effort.
I mean, it's all been facts, though.
You're going to have a hard time with the
90% of it, at least.
fact-finding mission due to the people that you're working with. So I'll let you do what you need to do. That's why I said we only need 5 minutes.
Bro's in denial.
I can't really entertain your conversation because there's really no merit for it in my situation.
Okay, wait a second. Back up. Ted said he doesn't own Trader's Domain anymore?
That's what I heard.
Because after 2020,
right when all the bad stuff happened,
the owner of the platform.
So who running the
How's
platform,
that
gang?
possible?
You know, I was actually expecting this. When I was going back through all those documents, I saw him trying to set this up. It's kind of a lot to explain.
Might as well bore me.
Facts.
No one else in here is going to. Bar's dead tonight.
All right, I'll tell you. Have you ever heard of the Panama Papers?
Panama Papers? Sure.
When it all
Big
leaked
news
and
story in
exposed all those
2016.
offshore banks. Yep.
Leaked papers show that rich people own everything. Not exactly a headline if you ask me.
No, that's not the real story. We knew they owned everything. The real headline was that they kept it offshore, and the question is, how did they keep that a secret?
I don't know. Good lawyers?
More like bad
Another
laws.
one of those like
in places
bullshit
like Panama,
scams.
you could own a company, but not be on the paperwork.
And that's useful how?
Well, you can hide millions in companies you control, but if anyone asks you about it, you're off the books.
But you still own it technically.
The true owner is hidden.
That's right. It's called beneficial ownership, and the Panama Papers was just the start.
Okay, I get that. But what does this have to do with Trader's Domain?
Well, our friend Ted decided to use a similar playbook. Check this out. Here are the founding documents of Trader's Domain.
Uh-oh.
In it, we see the first directors.
Coffee got all the
Ted
papers.
Franco and David Negus got in this whole thing. They both get half the company's shares. But here's the key thing. In January 14, 2020, something changes. A new director gets appointed, someone named Arthie Kaniger. And watch this. After he gets in, Ted resigns.
Oh.
What?
And it's in January 14th,
Well, who is Arthur?
2020. That's why he says he doesn't own it.
That's right. But also, I found another document dated a little later, 3 days later, in fact, an acknowledgement letter admitting that he was the ultimate beneficial owner of Trader's Domain.
Wait, what?
Then doesn't that mean he still controls it?
Yes, exactly.
So this new director is just the fall guy.
Just the front
Yes,
man.
now you're getting it. It's what I wanted to tell Ted in the first place.
You know,
Wait.
I rarely give you compliments, but
So he thinks people are
I
gonna
really
believe
think
this?
you got him.
I thought he did, but Ted wasn't gonna go down without a fight.
Also, you said that in 2020 you signed over the account, but I have an acknowledgement letter from you that says that you actually are the ultimate beneficiary owner. Do you want to address that?
No, because it's not true.
So this signature
This
on January
paperwork's fake?
17th, 2020, where you acknowledge that all legal actions which may be taken by the company's director, which you did sign over the director or shareholder, including but not limited to signing of agreements, documents, are confirmed by and agreed with me as the company's UBO, and I have full control over directors or shareholders' actions. And this is your signature at the bottom. Is that fake?
Yeah, because was that document stamped?
I'm sorry, you're saying this signed document from you is fake.
All corporations have a seal. So is there a seal on that document?
There's no seal in this document.
Okay, so like I
Ted,
said,
you,
should
Ted,
really-
you know, Ted, why would somebody fake your signature on this? Come on.
The reason why that
Where's the-
my
I wanna see-
passport's been passed around that's expired. The reason why
I
there's
wanna see
documents
why-
of mine that's been expired.
I'm
and
not
passed
understanding,
around.
though,
Yeah,
because what-
I mean, like I said,
like,
I mean
that's
please
easily
go on
that's
to that-
easily provable because the other document that he signed away the company stuff or whatever, that one didn't have a seal either. So maybe it just doesn't have a seal on the first page. I mean, on like the last page, but like maybe the seal's on the cover letter or something. I don't know. That's weird.
better fact.
I feel like that's an easy thing to like prove, you know? Like that's an easy thing to be like, oh, this is why this was like this, or this is why this wasn't, you know? Yeah, I'm not getting that one.
Finding mission.
He gotta explain
what is
that.
he talking
Ted
about
gotta
now?
run that to you. Gotta run that back
check
to
this
me.
out.
Cuz.
Ted is basically saying that the document we have isn't valid because it doesn't have a seal that looks like this on the document, where ours just has his signature.
Woo! This guy is slick, Coffee.
I think his ability to lie is both his strength and his weakness, though. I mean, yes, he is very good, but probably also why he picked up the phone in the first place.
Oh, he thought he could bluff past you.
Right. And he's actually done it before. In digging through Ted's documents, I found I wasn't the only
so my
person
boy
he
did
tried
that
this
recent.
trick on.
My boy
Back
did
in
that recent.
2019, the Ontario Securities Commission even investigated him.
You mean like the Canadian government?
Yep, they already looked into him, and Ted lied his way out of it. I even have the emails
How?
to prove it. I mean, check this out. At the time, Ontario was concerned about Trader's Domain soliciting Canadian investors in 2019. So Ted said they didn't have that many and they'd be removing them from the platform by July 1st.
And then what?
And then that was that. I mean, it was over.
So what? They
How
just
do
stopped
they
taking
didn't
Canadian
check back
clients?
up on it?
Oh, of course not. The investigation stopped. But I found people being recruited from Canada as early as directly after the fact. People like Armand, a customer who said he was from Ontario and wanted to sign up, and he said there was no option for it. And so they replied, just use crypto as the country code. The same thing happened with another Canadian. When he asked how to open an account, their response was, please use crypto as the country code.
What?
can't
And
believe they
they've
got
got
away
the
with
Trader's Domain email
well,
on there.
It actually gets worse because in 2021, Ontario decided to investigate them again.
No way. This time they caught them though, right?
Nope, Ted lied again. He told the investigator, hope all is well. We're not affiliated with this organization since early 2020.
Huh. That's what he told you too.
Correct. And I think that that's why Ted and David pulled this trick in the first place, to avoid the feds.
Of course. Now that you mention
But
it, they
how do
were
they
first
just get out of-
investigated in
that doesn't make any
2019.
sense, though.
So in 2020?
Doesn't make any sense because how do they just get out of like my thing? This is where I'm confused at, because if the government was investigating them, they just halted the investigation. Like, hey, you know what? Oh, okay, you're right. We'll get you out of this email thread. Like, what? Is that how they do investigations? Is it really that easy? There's no way it's just that easy to just rip all these people off. There's got to be like people at the top got to be making some money off this. That's why it's crazy. It got to be like some type of fee or something that's getting paid out. Because what? They just ended the investigation?
They do this.
He's already gotten away with it twice.
So what are you gonna do different?
Well, this time we have a bit more evidence. We got that signed document, but we also have, even better, a video from Ted saying he owns Trader's Domain after he wasn't supposed to.
So Hillcrest is located offshore. It is owned over here by myself.
You haven't been able to explain why this isn't the case. It seems to me that you're on the record saying you own Trader's Domain after 2020, right? You're on the record saying that on video. I can send you the video if you want. Then we've got you a signed document saying that you're the ultimate beneficiary owner. And then we have to ask ourselves, why would you resign from a company that's making so much money to some sham director? Did you sign it over out of the goodness of your heart? Or did you sign it over and secure control?
I didn't sign over the company for the goodness of my heart. There was a sale made. So once again, like I said, you don't really have your facts.
How much money did you make from Trader's Domain?
$0.
So you started it and you just sort of profited nothing. You didn't make a dime.
Nope.
But they were he got evidence of them moving the money in crypto. What are you talking about?
You say you sold Trader's Domain in 2020. That's what you say.
Who owns the
How
crypto
much did you
walls?
sell it for?
I think it was 40,000.
Right, but
he sold Trader's Domain that was making almost 500 million for 40K.
what I'm asking you is, why would you sell a company that has millions of dollars in deposits, is a successful
for 40K
offshore foreign exchange brokerage? Why would you sell that for $40,000?
Because I had bigger plans.
Why wouldn't you sell Trader's Domain for its true book value?
Because I don't care about money.
Okay.
Maybe you care about money. I don't.
Oh, brother, this guy's a liar.
Yeah, you don't say.
Well, what does he care about?
According to him, the downfall of society.
I don't agree with society at all.
What is happening right now?
A lot
how
of
do
people
say this stuff to themselves and believe
in
it?
terms of what you think society is doing.
What do you think society's doing?
Well, you're contributing to it.
But contributing to what?
What?
The downfall of society through social media.
Okay, keep going.
And through the ability of people like yourself to generate revenue based on what I would say, maybe, I don't want to, maybe hysteria is the wrong word, or maybe, you know, the latest gossip, the latest information.
Ted,
you're monetized.
You aren't the latest gossip.
Yeah, so you're monetizing.
This is a gigantic Ponzi scheme where people are suffering. Doesn't any of that matter to you?
Once again, this is your benefit, not mine.
No. What I'm saying is, a bunch of clients come to me. They say there's this giant Ponzi scheme. Ted Safranco runs it. I find your name over all the documents. Then I come to you and you're telling me, oh, this is a salacious thing. This is just gossip. This is news of the day. If a $300 million Ponzi scheme, or let's say the CFTC's right, a $145 million Ponzi scheme, let's even say it's a $10 million Ponzi scheme. If a $10 million Ponzi scheme's not worth talking about, what is?
The lack of family value, the way that people try and destroy other people's lives But
Ted, don't you think that the person who ran this Ponzi scheme destroyed people's lives? Don't you think they're contributing to the destruction of family values?
Talk to that. Bro,
you know?
what is Ted?
I think when
Ted
you
is on
look
drugs,
at
bro.
this circumstance, as you quote call it, a Ponzi, whatever you're investigating, maybe ask those clients of yours that you're investigating if they had free will to make decisions. And maybe
But if they were misled, right?
If they had free
will. If they
will.
were misled and lied to.
By who?
By you.
Well, by you, Ted.
By me?
You were the person who got the original investment.
Can you believe it?
No, I can't believe this. I can't believe any of it.
Neither could any of the victims I spoke to.
What do you think about, maybe it's your responsibility because it's your free will to invest?
He's pushed that narrative before in the chat, making like nobody ever solicited any money or anything like that. But meanwhile, that's all bullshit. That is such a chicken response from a total coward. Oh my God. So no accountability at all.
None.
I mean, this is sociopathic behavior, right? This is what a real sociopath does. They detach themselves from their behavior and they blame their victims.
I was getting angry at this point, given the disconnect between the
That
damage
is a whole
this
Pablo
guy
Escobar.
caused
Like shit.
and the absolute lack of empathy.
Did you at least show him that damage?
I mean, I tried to.
When a guy tells me that his brother mortgaged his house to invest in Trader's Domain, you don't feel like you have any culpability with that.
Who told them to mortgage the house?
They're trying to better their lives. You understand that, right?
I mean, in a way, he kind of does. He's not really like wilding. Like they definitely chose to go down that path, but he's still responsible for like making that pathway or whatever available. And I think that's not what he's realizing. Like they're still both wrong, yeah, but nigga, you're still wrong. Like I don't think he gets that.
To support probably ostensibly his family. You know, you talk about caring about these family values. Ted, this guy's trying to support his family. Don't you think that's a good thing?
His house? Not really. You're taking shelter and you're
To invest money. A mom put $10,000 to try to invest in her kids' tuition. Do you not care about any of this? These family values, these families.
Well, I'm thinking right now you're giving me two situations where people have made poor choices, and now
to trust you as the owner of the PAM account and the person who ran it.
They're like,
once again, couldn't tell you.
I mean, we have you on video saying you ran it, so we don't have to trust you on this. I'm just stating what you said. I'm just repeating your words back to you.
Hello?
So you don't feel any culpability for what
he doesn't care at all.
I mean, you're saying I'm destroying the fabric of, you know, family values. Don't you think you are?
No.
Man, and I thought I was heartless.
It's honestly frightening
fucking robot
to hear someone like that on the other end of the line. It's like talking to a shell of a human being. No offense.
None taken.
Did you run the PAM account?
Which one?
Any of them? Did you run any of the PAM, the high risk PAM account, the one that was trading so well?
I don't know.
You don't know if you were running it or not?
No.
How long we run the PAM system for? I don't know. I mean, people have liked it. I don't mind doing it. It's not difficult for me to trade. Trading's easy for me. It'll be basically, you know, when I decide I'm bored.
So you say,
he decided he was
quote,
bored.
how long will you run the PAM system for? I don't know. People have liked it. I don't mind doing it. It's not difficult for me to trade. Trading's easy for me. It'll basically be, you know, when I decide I'm bored. That wasn't you.
Don't know what context that is.
But you're just, I'm reading you the quote. It's you talking about the PAM system. You're saying, talking about trading in the PAM. You're saying you ran it.
Don't remember that.
I don't remember. How convenient.
Yeah, the funny thing is, the victim said he was just talking to them.
I'm not gonna lie, he's actually very good at like trying to like not incriminate himself.
About trading.
I'm in chats right now on Telegram where he's claiming to be still today. He's still in there actively saying that he's trading. There are a couple of bad days happened and he's like saying, you guys are stressing me out. I'm getting thousands of DMs from angry people. Do you think I'm not going to have a hard time trading with all this pressure and stress? So he's still claiming he's the trader. So the fact that he's telling you that he's not aware if he's ever traded on that, I mean, that it's just, who traded then, dude? Who's the trader?
Who's
At
the
this
guy
point,
behind
I don't
him?
know what to do. Ted's basically pleading.
I don't
dementia.
know.
I don't
what?
recall.
Sounds like pleading the fifth to me.
It's pretty surprising coming from Mr. Family Values, because ultimately that's who is hurt by all this, is the families.
Do you think it's wrong that Algo Capital told its clients that it was running an algorithm bot when in actual fact it was just you trading the PAM?
Whatever they told their clients, you probably have to ask them about. I wouldn't know what they're telling it. Fine.
I do think I should ask about it. I'm just asking for your value judgment. Do you think they're destroying family values with that, perhaps?
How they decide to run their business, if that's what they're doing, that's up to them. I don't judge other people.
Oh, come on. You were judging me a second ago.
What?
Well, yeah, because you actually
so
do something
you do
that
in
I've
certain
researched. I don't know what
instances.
those people do.
He doesn't know. What? He's the one taking money from them.
Yeah, I know. Our
He
conversation
doesn't
at
care
this
about
point had
money,
basically
so
run its
that's
course.
his
He
argument for
stopped giving
not
me
taking
real
the money.
answers.
I'm confused
Although,
about that.
when he got the last word, I found it funny what he was still focused on. Mr. Family Values was still talking about the money.
Well, this has been a very educational call, believe it or not. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, good luck with the monetization.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Dad. Good luck with your $300 million Ponzi scheme.
Monetization. Simple. Yeah.
Pretty good tape. You can hear he's rattled, Coffee.
I just don't understand how, like, even people do this with, like, the commentary YouTubers, too. Like, some of them, yeah, they're a little wild because they don't ever show, like, the goods or the bads of, like, what happens to, like, things like that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to understand, like, why is it that stuff like this doesn't go to court? Like, how do the businesses really just stop? Like, are they able to just stop responding and they're like, oh, well, paperwork's there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't get it. Like, I don't get how these people don't go down for what they're doing. And why are they mad? Why are they mad at Coffee for telling the story or getting the story out there? Like, it's like literally what do you call it? It's literally journalism. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's just high value journalism. And the robot interludes or whatever, I think these are fire. I don't know. I like it. I like how he tells the story. It's a lot better than just sitting there watching somebody like sit there on the screen and just tell you that and break it all down. I don't know. It's dope. It almost feels like a movie. Like, if it literally feels like he filmed these like a movie, you know? It's dope. I don't know. I like it.
But,
oh, what now?
Well, like you said, what now? Ted denies everything. Government already investigated him twice and failed. What's the smoking gun?
Well, he was lying about
It's your
Trader's
turn.
Domain. He was lying about running the trading. We have him on video with that.
Sure. But what about the fake trades?
You mean the bee booking?
That's the real stuff. Do you have solid evidence there?
I mean, yeah, we've got invoices. We've got an eyewitness.
That's good, but they're just gonna deny that.
You think I need more?
I hate to be the one to tell you this, because you'll love this. But yeah, you need absolute proof.
Fair enough, I guess. Well, wait, what
So he
makes you
found
think
proof?
I'd like to hear that?
I didn't say you like it. You love it. The chase, Coffee. You can't live without it.
Well, it sure beats being
Now, what about
psychoanalyzed
that?
by a stochastic parrot.
Coffee, I'm hurt. All this negativity coming from my best customer.
From the looks of it, I think I'm your only customer. So I'll try not to be gone too long.
Famous last words. I wouldn't see
Alright.
anyone for a while. I was obsessed, and the days flew by in a monotonous blur defined by a simple routine. Drive to the office in the morning, work till I could barely think, and then head home after dark to get some sleep. People started asking if I was okay. I didn't even know how to answer them. The truth was, either I would break this case, or I would be broken by it.
You see what I'm saying? It's a movie. Oh no, falling asleep at the wheel is crazy. Virtual sleep driving is crazy.
All right, I think I've got something. It's been several days of sleep deprivation and going through lots of files because, unluckily for me, a lot of people hate Ted. And they keep sending me stuff. So I had to go through everything. And after doing that, A, not doing great. B, I think I did find something. And I want to show you that. But not going to do that here because my back hurts. And this is the floor. So.
All right, we're back. Let's talk about fake trades. This whole case rests on whether Trader's Domain was making real trades or not. If it wasn't, it's a Ponzi scheme, end of story. Now, as part of this investigation, our first clue was that we found that Trader's Domain uses the software Beta Broker on the back end to make their trades. And we discussed how we found invoices from that company, and it looked like maybe they were bee booking. But today, we discovered a lot more. I got leaked support chats between Beta Broker and Trader's Domain themselves, the back-end stuff and I'm going to show you what it reveals.
Ow!
Now, we're going to talk about the authenticity of these documents in a moment because they were leaked to me, so we have to be careful. But the headline of it is this. Beta Broker wasn't just offering Trader's Domain a software. Beta Broker appears to have been helping Trader's Domain fake their trades hand in hand with them. And we're going to prove all of this. So here's what we have. We have leaked messages from the Beta Broker help desk. It's basically tech support. And we have screenshots between them and Trader's Domain, so we can see what they were asking for help with. Here's an example. On the 4th of November, 2021, Trader's Domain sends a message. They need help. Hi, please remove all orders for 1104 and restore balance. That's November 4th. The response is, hello, we've received your request. We will check. And then, dear David, I believe this is the co-founder of Trader's Domain, David Negus, we would like to clarify with you one point. We see that negative profit is visible on deals for 11/5, November 5th. Please clarify, perhaps you meant removing orders for this date, or still for 11/4. David responds, yes, for today's date. Now, I know that seems like a lot, but it's actually simple what's going on here. Trader's Domain is asking to remove losses they took in the past on trades, so nobody sees that they're there. Now, they took these losses
how are they able to do that?
November, but David gets a little confused.
The trade's already done.
Thinks it's the 4th of November, so he asks them about removing those. But Beta Broker corrects them, and this is important because it shows that they knew that the whole point of this is to fake a positive trading history. And they say, well, hey, you lost money today, not yesterday. Do you want us to delete today's trades? So this is incredibly damning, but I want to be clear for legal reasons. I don't know if this is a rogue employee at Beta Broker doing this, or if this is a systemic thing and probably why people go to Beta Broker in the first place. I don't know the answer to that. But what I do know is that Trader's Domain couldn't have done this by themselves. They showed themselves to be incredibly incompetent. And Beta Broker was a huge part of their infrastructure to commit the crimes that they did. Now, here's another
Beta
message.
Broker is a whole
Hi,
scam
please remove
agency?
all
What the
orders
hell?
after 1330 GMT on 2060487, which is an account number for Ted Safranco, and restore all balances to that time. The response is this. Dear David, there are some profit deals. Could you please elaborate if we need to delete all deals for today after 1330 GMT? In other words, hey, maybe you just want us to
you only
delete
want the losses,
bad
not the
trades,
profits?
not just the good trades.
Yeah,
and,
what the fuck?
That doesn't sound like tech support to me. That sounds like criminal support, in my opinion.
Like, what the fuck?
And this shows in black and white how Trader's Domain faked this whole thing. They would do these trades, but they would remove the losing ones and keep the winning ones to create a winning record.
Did he respond to that message, though? Show the response to that message.
Because there were orders, right? But of course, what the customers didn't know is that those losing orders would all be quietly wiped away. And that's how this Ponzi scheme
Show me the response to the message
for so long. It looked like everything was real. They were very successful at faking this stuff. Although, of course, in the end, it's also how it fell apart, because as we showed in the first episode, Trader's Domain's customers started catching on to the
I don't like that he didn't show me the end of that message. I don't like that.
Changing trades, and they would talk about it openly.
He just changed the trades. He just changed the exit, dollar amount that he took on that trade.
So this all lines up with what we know. Ted appeared to be trading in real time, but losing trades would suddenly vanish. And I know what you might be thinking. Well, look, this is great and all, but how do we know that these support chats are real? Maybe these are photoshopped screenshots from upset customers. And I wanted to go ahead and validate the
authenticity. It's the finale for Coffeezilla's new Ponzi scheme
and
series.
what I realized is we could actually compare these requests for order removals with what people were publicly reporting. And if those two things lined up, then these screenshots are very likely authentic. And that's when I found this Reddit post showing two pictures of their trading account changing. Once when Ted had lost on a trade, and then later that day when those same trades suddenly change. They change where they closed. Now, just so you can read this, the blue arrows are the buys that Ted did, and the red arrows are the sells. And as you can see from the first picture, Ted has lost money using the Wall Street Bets trick of buying high and selling low. Now, he's going to solve this, though, with a very simple trick called fraud. Because in the second picture, you can see that the trades have been adjusted and the story has changed. now suddenly the sells are about breaking even with everything that was bought. Pretty amazing, right? Now, I want to be clear, this Reddit user posted these screenshots months ago, independent of the screenshots that I have. But when I looked at the support chats and cross-referenced them and the timeline with these trades happening on January 20th, I found a support ticket from Trader's Domain for that exact day. Please adjust all orders to close price of 1932.41 at 0927 GMT for both master account and all investor accounts. And the response is, dear client, you want us to adjust all today's master deals to close time 0927 and close price 1932.41. And then they list out the 6 deals. And David responds, yes, correct. And then the reply, all orders have been adjusted. And sure enough, when we go look back at our Reddit post, it all lines up perfectly. And in the screenshots, 6 trades were changed exactly to the price that was requested, 1932.41. Now this is the smoking gun, undeniable proof of fraudulent, fake trading straight from behind the scenes.
I don't know, undeniable. I want to know. I would just wish there were more to the screenshots. I think that's what kind of sucks to me. Like, I wish there was like a whole account page or something so you could tell whose account they were seeing the screenshots from and little things like that. Like, was it from the support side or was it from David or Ted's account? Like, how does that work? Because it could be anything. Like, I've had people who have like hit me up to check out their music and they've sent me like fake screenshots of like Cash App requests and shit that they've like sent me. They've been like, oh, hey, I've sent the money, here you go. And then they'll send me like a fake screenshot of them like editing it on their phone. And it's like, if I didn't have the phone or wasn't so used to looking at the app, I would not have even noticed that it was fake, you know? So it's like, I don't know how all that stuff works, man. Computers ruin everything. They also make a lot better at the same time.
Scenes of Trader's Domain's own software provider. But I'm not finished, because it's not enough to talk about if there was fraud. Where did the money go? Who is entitled to that money? Well, I think I discovered that too. Because
how is it that the sale just broke even?
From Trader's Domain leaked to me. And I was trying to figure out how I could use these to reconstruct a map of how this Ponzi scheme worked, when suddenly I realized the answer was right in front of me. And that comes from the daily account statements. Now, I think we've talked about this briefly, but the way Trader's Domain convinced people that this was all real is they sent a set of daily trades, fake trades, to their customers, supposedly how much money they had made that day. It all looked very real, official. But in these statements, they had people's names in them, account numbers, and their balances. And I realized,
I don't understand how does $1,000 make you $300,000?
I could reconstruct this whole thing. So here's what I did. I picked a day near the height of the Ponzi scheme, September 20th, 2022. It's right before withdrawals all stopped. And I used a Python script to pull all the emails. I ended up with 9,663 emails. Then I used that script to extract the account balance, the names, the account numbers. And I used that to create a spreadsheet to map this whole thing out. And using that, we find out a couple important things. Firstly, how much was owed in this whole thing? And the answer is $3.3 billion. Of course, not all that money is real. We have uncovered about $500 million of real money that went in, but that brings us to the second thing we can discover, which is who this money was owed to. And this is where all the pieces of our Ponzi fall in place, okay? Here are the biggest promoters, sponsors, and owners in Trader's Domain. Firstly, at the top of the list, we have Tintin, aka Tin Tran, with nearly $1 billion. Now that might surprise some of you, but keep in mind he was the main account people would send money to, as we discovered in part 1. The second largest holder is, not surprising, Ted Sifranco, the guy who says he doesn't own any of this anymore. Well,
I sold $1 billion company for fucking $1 million. What do you say, 40,000?
We have somebody from Houston.
What the fuck?
An MLM promoter, Holton Bugs. He had $125 million. And if you remember, the first victims we spoke to, they talked to Holton and were shown huge account numbers. Now we know how that was possible. Now the fourth largest holder is Algo Capital, another sponsor we've known about for some time. We didn't know the size though. $96 million. Mike Sims, another big promoter, is close behind with $84 million. And here we can find some interesting connections actually, because it allows us to discover Ponzi schemes within Ponzi schemes. Watch this. So apparently Mike Sims and Algo Capital work together, at least according to them.
I have a role of serving as Director of International Business for Algo Capital, which is a firm in Miami, Florida. We're also going to be expanding internationally here pretty soon as well. And we are a hedge fund. We're a hedge fund, and we specialize in Forex trading.
Now, this is actually interesting when you realize that Algo Capital was partnered with something called Omega Pro, which is an MLM Ponzi scheme which purported to trade Forex, which might sound familiar.
And we're excited to be partnered with Omega Pro on their vision.
So it appears this is where a lot of the money came from, was this other Ponzi scheme.
Stop, Spree.
Basically, Algo Capital and Mike Sims took money from that Ponzi scheme, supposedly to trade. They funneled it into their own thing, which was built around this thing, a Forex bot. But of course, that bot wasn't real. In reality, it seems like they forwarded that money into another Ponzi scheme, which is Trader's Domain. That's why I said Ponzi schemes within Ponzi schemes within Ponzi schemes. Yeah.
They were just flipping the money
and
everywhere.
Actually, funny enough, do you know who one of the promoters of this Omega Pro was?
Come on, let's go. Come on, come on.
Wow.
That's right. The scammer of Wall Street is back, Jordan Belfort. And I know some of you are thinking, wow, I thought he changed. Well, not so sure.
There's only one way to get rich in this world, and that is quickly. You gotta get rich quick. I'm not talking about a get rich quick scheme. That's not what I mean. So I'm not advising you to go out and find some get rich quick scheme, which this is not. It's a legitimate business, okay?
Actually, no, it isn't. None of that's true. You don't have to get rich quick. Omega Pro was a get rich quick scheme, and it wasn't a legitimate business. Unfortunately for investors, Omega Pro has since collapsed at the same time Trader's Domain did. And so investors, ironically, got poor quick listening to a guy who got paid to speak. So good job, Jordan.
To me, it sounds like it's like one guy that just runs all the businesses, and they just all kept flipping the money in between. I mean, he just kept flipping the money between all three of the businesses to almost like in order to keep the lies going. Basically, it was like, you know, when you tell one lie, you have to tell another one to cover up that lie, and you have to keep on doing it over and over and over again. So it just seems like that's how he was doing it. He was just washing the money through all three of the different businesses.
Jordan, I hope that 300 grand you had locked within Future Gin LLC was worth it. And I hope you pulled it from Trader's Domain in time. But let's leave that sleazeball and go back to another sleazeball. Up next on our list of Trader's Domain holders is Disruptive Tech with 59 million. Now, who is that? Well, the email associated is Gilbert Pardalla, who calls himself an enthusiast of the blockchain. In fact, he's so enthusiastic, he's previously been detained for a different scam called Dagcoin. I mean, allegedly, guys, allegedly. Up next, we have Stormy Wellington, another top 10. She's an influencer with $26 million in Trader's Domain.
Damn it.
Which may explain why 9 months ago, she posted a video called, I bought a $1 million yacht cash.
Oh, not the crusty armpits.
How do you think she did it, guys? It's a real mystery. Was it maybe that you were in a Ponzi scheme?
I went out here and got it all off of hard work and dedication. No lottery ticket, no luck.
Ah, darn it. Turns out it was hard work and dedication all along. Now,
what that Stormy Wellington replied for comment, what that mean? Fake money. I was a large investor who got scammed like everyone else. You need to get your information correct before you use people's name. Hey, yo.
Now, jokes aside, we could go one by one through all these people, but we'll be here all day. However, a lot of these people...
Wait, ask why people have separate accounts. Wait, hold on.
We could go one by one.
Ask why people have separate accounts before you assume. Anyway, I want my money too. If you get any details on collecting, let me know. Thanks. Well, now I want to understand more about what Stormy talking about. Why he ain't get Stormy to come talk?
Through all these people, but we'll be here all day. However, a lot of these people didn't just end up with millions of dollars out of nowhere. They have that because they took it
from the victims that they took a cut from, that they brought into this whole scam. So just in case I haven't mentioned the person who you got scammed by, here's a list of the top 500 players in Trader's Domain. If you have information on being scammed by them, you can contact me.
Bro, do you see the number values? Oh my God. 6 million at the Orlandis branch. Elena Scepter. Alexis Romano, bro, Tara Romano. Oh, they was keeping it in the family. Michael Kaufman. So it was literally just like people would be like, hey, come donate money into it. They would get, what do you call it? They would end up getting how much? Like maybe say if somebody donated $1 million, they'd probably get like 10 or 20% of that million or something. Oh my God. So these people were getting like 6 M's worth of investments. It's just crazy. And Shorty's like, I got scammed too, but I bought $1 million yacht cash. Where did you get all this money out the mud?
100 players in Trader's Domain. If you have information on being scammed by them, you can contact me here to help with the investigation. Now, before we get to the final piece of this video, I wanted to just really briefly come here and say,
I need Tara to come wash this money over here.
I've ever done, and I couldn't have done it without the support of you guys out there. We've literally run out of wall. Think about that sentence. We're on the floor. I'm not exactly sure that says good things about my state of mind, but it's been so much fun. It's been one of the most gratifying things I've ever been able to do working on this case.
We got it on the list to watch today though, Costi.
Without the support of the patrons, it wouldn't have been possible. So if you can support, just thank you so much. You'll get a lot of cool perks. If you can't, well, you've probably skipped this already, so I wanted to do you a solid and let you know when to check back in, which is gonna be right about now. The final question we have to answer is what's next for our villains? And the answer depends on which one. Michael Sims, Mr. Hedge Fund, is having his assets frozen by the CFTC. Tin Tran, an associate of Ted Safranco, is allegedly on the run from his Texas home with his assets frozen. Every single sponsor I spoke to claims that they were just innocent victims. Sure, they may have pulled millions of dollars into this fund, but they didn't have any idea it was a scam. And whether you find that credible...
Because how do you not call it a scam if you know that none of the people that you're taking money from are getting anything back? Like how? Like the thing is like if you're getting all this commission, like that's what just fucks with my head so much. Like you think that you're getting all this commission and then your clients are just all losing? Like that's what we're going off of? I just can't understand it. I can't get it. I can't even see it from their perspective of how they could be right.
I'll let you decide. Here are the kinds of explanations they gave. Wait, you have 10 million pounds worth of clients with Ted?
Yeah, so I've got loads of clients. I've got loads of clients.
Oh my gosh. Actual dry powder, like dry powder capital?
Yeah, the other day I had my guy put $460,000 in. And
hey!
The thing is, he doesn't know, but he doesn't look at any of the trades. We kind of tell him at the end of the day, but I was told this as something like a sort of get your friends in, get your family in, get everyone in. And it's solid, nothing's gonna go wrong. So I brought all my clients from all the investments that I've ever done and brought them all over, and now it's gone to
Personally, I don't find this all that convincing. Just like I don't find Ted Safranco's excuses convincing. And speaking of him, he wasn't that happy about this video to come out. And predictably, he has taken to social media to vaguely threaten me and my family.
Mr. Steven Friedman or Friesman or whatever his name is, who goes by Coffeezilla. I don't think he's ever dealt with someone my size before. And nobody knows anything about his family because they don't have the resources I have.
I'm going to be perfectly honest. I was very scared
of Ted
Safranco looking into me with his vast $370 million Ponzi money. But when he referred to me as Mr. Friesman, I breathed a sigh of relief. I think I'll be okay. Now, where do we go from here? Why did I make this whole big docuseries? Well, I basically wanted to argue for 2 points, essentially. Number one, this fraud is much larger than the $145 million Ponzi scheme the CFTC is currently investigating, in my opinion, okay? I think they only have a fraction of the people who were truly involved and a fraction of the dollar amount that was truly involved. I mean, we have crypto transactions
proving a lot
Bro
more.
said, I just told the guy to put
that's number one. I think this
$400,000
is
in that
much
shit yesterday.
bigger, and the people
What
who have
the
been
fuck?
involved, it's a much longer list than they have. But the second problem, and it kind of ties in.
And then he said, we don't even tell him about it. We just tell him that the stuff is done. Like, how does that sound good? Like, people just be like, hey, I'm making money. Fuck it. Like, that's what's weird about all these niggas. That's why I said everybody's wrong. Like, at the end of the day, even the people that got done wrong, they wrong too. Because who the fuck believes that dumb shit? How do you believe that? How do you believe somebody tells you you're about to get 30% of interest back? Like, what kind of weirdo shit is that? I don't understand. Like, I don't get how you're, how? Like, how? Like, I don't understand it. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Is the crimes being charged and not charged, okay? Right now, Ted Safranco is only being charged with submitting falsified bank documents. Now, to put this in context, this would be like if Sam Bankman-Fried's only crime being charged was for ordering too much DoorDash. I mean, did that happen? Maybe so. It'll be litigated, but Ted did a lot more than that, right? Okay, so did his co-founder, David Negus, who isn't being charged at all. So did Algo Capital, who told people this was a trading bot, an algorithmic thing, and they were handing money over to Trader's Domain. They haven't been charged. Neither has Holton Bugs, Mr. Exotic Cars and Yachts. This just isn't right, in my opinion, okay? I think these people took advantage of this Ponzi scheme, got very rich, and I mean, if you want to even forget for a moment the idea of justice being served or whatever, what I'm really afraid of is that they're just gonna do it again. I'm just afraid we're gonna make a repeat of the same mistake the Ontario Securities Commission made. Twice, by the way. A few years ago, they had this case, it slips through their fingers, and as a result, more people get hurt because it's not like
just
Ted's
keep
gonna
washing the
stop,
money and
right?
start new companies.
Already, he's looking to relaunch Trader's Domain under new names. I mean, the guy couldn't even take a year off scamming people. His website already promises a migration of funds. So if people like Ted or his cronies get off easy, they'll likely do the same thing all over again, only they'll probably get better at hiding the scam. So I'm hoping, for the sake of the victims, Ted and his goons don't get away with this, because at the end of the day, that's who matters here, right? The victims. I mean, yes, I'll be honest, there are probably some unsympathetic investors in this thing, right? People like Jordan Belfort, people like Mike Sims, who scammed so many people. So it's tempting to say, okay, well, how did anyone fall for this? It's such an obvious scam. Maybe you think some of the people aren't sympathetic, but like all Ponzi schemes, at the bottom of this thing, you just find regular people who are trying to make a better life for themselves. And some of them didn't even know they were in Trader's Domain. For example, leaked emails I discovered showed a pension fund was invested in this thing called the Bergy Pension Fund. It got apparently funneled through Oppenheimer and Bishop and Associates, appears to have been then put with Renaissance Consulting, which was then placed in Trader's Domain. And I kept seeing that. Regular people.
And again, it's like those people are the ones that are fucked as well. Like that, you don't got to drill that in my head, Coffee, because you got to look at it the way that they look. Like, who the only scammers are believing this shit, bro? It's like when the people would call, like, you know how what's crazy? Do you guys ever see your friends like get scammed before? Like you see your friends, like they make, like I've seen people who do those like, oh, let me get your Bank of America information and I'll cash a check in your account or whatever. Like I've seen that, and they'll be like, oh, okay, cool. And then they'll make a video saying that the scammer got them the money or like stuff like that. Like I had this one chick who got caught with that shit. Like she literally made a video saying that she just got all this money from this guy who did this stuff for her. And they ended up like taking her Instagram and Twitter account and got her Bank of America account taken over. And they took like 10K, not took 10K, but they like deposited 2 fake checks in her account and they automatically approved them. They took the money out of her account. And then the Bank of America people were like, oh, hey, these are fake. You now owe us $10,000. And it's in her name like a dumbass. And she's got a video saying, oh, this is not a scam, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, bro, how do you fall for stuff like this? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
People investing their livelihood, mortgages, college savings. Some of them had no idea they were invested in Trader's Domain. They just put their money with a guy they trusted who put that money with another guy and another guy and another guy. And before you know it, you're in a Ponzi scheme. So those people didn't deserve this. And this video series is for those people, the regular people who lost money in this. They deserve justice because YouTube investigations, look, it's great. I love doing this. It's not enough, right? Awareness, subscribers, it's great. It's cool. Comments, it's not enough. Trader's Domain has hurt a lot of people.
Oh, you got a package.
The people in charge need to be held fully accountable, and I cannot do that. So for now, our story ends here.
Hey, yo, fatty fight is crazy.
Hey, Coffee. Brooding as usual? Is this why you called, so you can have a buddy to play the depressed detective with?
No, I came here for some peace and quiet.
This is so cool.
You know,
I don't know how he does
I wanted
this.
to apologize about the whole stochastic parrot thing. I didn't mean it.
I couldn't stay mad at you. The bar would be out of business.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm surprised you guys lasted so long. What has it been, like a few weeks?
Speaking of that, what happened with that Ponzi scheme you were investigating?
Oh, yeah, that's over. I mean, Ted's still free. Sponsors deny everything. I guess you could say I'm still missing my perfect ending.
Oh, well, I guess I'm sorry. I really thought you just needed more evidence.
Nah, you were right to push me. I mean, it helped, and you were right about a lot of things.
Well, I'm always right. What was that other thing I was right about?
You know, I think you said something about enjoying the next best thing with a friend.
Oh, right. That. Well, I can't drink, though.
Yeah, I thought about that, so I picked up something on my way here.
Get him oil?
You like a little bit of juice, right?
Coffee. You didn't.
You get some motor oil?
I did. Premium grade stuff right here.
What the fuck is happening?
Premium grade
A battery?
stuff, huh? A
This is
9 volt?
wild.
What, you couldn't get a bigger battery with all that Patreon money?
I mean, what am I gonna do? I gotta keep you sharp. Who do you think's gonna drive me home? Cheers, by the way, my friend.
This is fucking the weirdest shit I've ever seen.
That's a new one. Like a little better than
Now I know what
stochastic
Gary was
parrot.
talking about.
Yeah, well, don't be too flattered. I think it's more of an indictment of my social life than anything else.
You think he's
Well,
fucking
I,
the
for
robot?
one, am honored to be your first indictment on this case. Does this mean I'm like a sidekick now, too?
No. I don't have sidekicks. Coffeezilla doesn't have sidekicks.
I think you're wrong. I'm already your best friend. I make you drinks. And I drive you around.
It was a baddie.
I feel like a promotion is in order.
I said you were a friend, and I work alone.
Yeah, a best friend, who also moonlights as a sidekick.
You're impossible.
I think I'll go by Dr. Maxwell. And with that, we'll see you guys next week.
Oh, no, don't do that.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just thanking the wonderful audience for watching.
No, you do. You're doing that thing where you play us out while trying to pretend that this whole sidekick thing is happening. It's not.
Bro, what is happening right
We'll
now?
see you all real soon. Sidekick thing is happening, and I love every one of you. And the dynamic duo is back indefinitely next week, every week.
Wait, I can't even do every week. This took me like 4 months.
A boy and his robot. You won't want to miss it. Click here to see more videos as we zoom out and fade into black. Nothing left to say. Say.
That's so fire. That's so fire. Shout out to the Patreon gang, man. That's so crazy.